And unfortunately, that is it. That is the end of the Bears season, eliminated in overtime after one of the most dramatic plays you're ever going to see in the NFL. Patrick, rough one. Rough way to go out.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you're sitting there. It's another game where you're writing your narrative of the game, and you're thinking about they're not converting on third downs, a couple takeaways or a couple turnovers early, and then all of a sudden Caleb becomes Caleb and makes that darn throw, and you thought we were going to see it again. And it's just disappointing that the season ended that way in overtime the way it did with the final interception. You know, you lose the turnover battle 3-0, and you're still in the game. It was kind of shocking, but I guess there'll be a lot of conversation. Was that on DJ Moore? Was that on Caleb? We don't know, but I got to give Dennis Allen a lot of credit in that defense for what they did to Sean McVay in that offense and Matthew Stafford, but just the offense didn't come to play. The run game struggled a bit in the third and shorts and the fourth and shorts, and it's just disappointing. It's really disappointing because I thought they were writing another storybook ending and another storybook win, but just came up short. But I tell you what, though, man, a hell of a season, and I'll just say this, I think it's a hell of a start for this new regime here with the Chicago Bears.
Ah, man. What a football game. What a football game.
Yeah.
They fought hard, kind of like we talked about in the pregame show. You just know how much guts this team has, right? And how hard they fight together, how hard they play the game, how they believe they can beat anybody, even a team like the Rams with Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay and all the talent they got, and they got him here in the cold weather, and it seems to be affecting them. And, Joe Tooney, moving out to left tackle. We talked about how crazy of an idea that was and what a great teammate he is. But Caleb needed to be a multiplier, right? And at the end of the game, when they needed him most, and Verse finally got Joe Tooney, guess who was the multiplier, right? And I think Tice tweeted out, Nate Tice, I think it's Mike Tice's son, but tweets out that ball went 51.2 yards in air, if you can believe it. Right, running backwards, and Cole Kmet catches it, and the defense, and Dennis Allen's plan, Pat and Mully. I mean, with the cornerbacks, and we talked about last week how he used the DBs to set the edge in the run game because he knows his ends can't, and the blitzes, and how much it was confusing the offensive line of the Rams and confusing Stafford, and they couldn't get their plan of protection together, and then they score that late touchdown, and the Bears just ended the whole game, and just thought they'd find some way again to pull it off, right? And I almost was, I couldn't even believe they made that field goal, to be honest with you, at the end. That kind of year, right? Like,
yeah,
oh, wait, we're going to get the ball one more time, right? Like, it's that kind
Josh
of year.
Blackwell?
Like the season's not over, right? But never happy after a loss. But that team, man, that team fought together. I think they got their quarterback. I think they got their coach. The future looks bright here in Chicago for the Chicago Bears.
A tough one, but you have to feel grateful for that season. Mm-hmm. It was an amazing season, and I think it's made believers out of a lot of people, and I agree with what you're saying, Olin. I mean, it's it's a pity that you had that third pick in overtime. It's a pity, and I don't know. I feel like that throw to end the game was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a guy that retreats like that and still somehow has the competency or the belief or whatever word you want to use to then fling it into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown? That was insane. I mean, that's not a rational thing to have happen in the NFL.
What did Roma Doomsday's quote? What was his quote, Pat? The most amazing throw until he throws the next one.
Yes, right.
So
right. That's what he said after he made week after week. It's like, is that the most amazing throw you've ever seen? And Roma Doomsday with the quote of the year for Caleb Williams, right? Until he hits the field the next time and throws it again, right? And it's just like you're talking about. I mean, every interception, as you guys know, has its own story. And I'm waiting to hear what the three guys say about it, right? DJ Moore, Ben Johnson, and Caleb Williams. What was the thought process? Why did you throw it out there? What did you think DJ was going to do? What did DJ think he was going to do? We saw that DJ took some hits through that game, really played a good game, really tough, right? Bears struggled on short yardage. I thought that was the only time that they're changing their offensive line showed up there on short yardage plays, right? Where it wasn't as physical. It was probably more for pass protection to put Joe Tooney out there, and I thought in short yardage situations that hurt them. But Caleb, the interception, the throw, Mully, Pat. I mean, when he threw the ball, I literally they panned to him, and I looked at they got that VMH on his badge, right? The Virginia McCaskey Hallis, and I'm like, she is pulling them off this year, man, right? She is giving us some amazing endings. But this guy, man, to go backwards, they're showing the replay right here on TV, Pat. No, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen one, but I don't know how many times I've said that this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's been the whole year. That's 8 games, right? They came back in the final 2 minutes to at least tie it, or, they won 7 of them. And I just thought it was another one. I just thought this year that, this was the year that was going to happen. And Sean McVay's face, that's one of the best opponent coaches' faces I've seen in a while after that throw. Just a complete shock. But, just overall, guys, just to sum up that season again, just a miraculous season. You go back in the last 25 years, everybody talks about 2001 and those back-to-back wins. Obviously, 06 going to the Super Bowl, 2010. But, 2018 they went to the playoffs. But this, to me, was a season comparable to that 2001 where you just couldn't believe it happened. Things happened that you haven't seen before. But what I think is different is that this is the building of a team. The building blocks are there. You know what I mean? We have a quarterback. We've been begging for a quarterback for years. We have a guy in the fourth quarter that can get you to come back and keep you in the game. We have a coach who we believe in. We have an O-line right now. We have some excellent young receivers. I think there's some holes on the defense that can be fixed. We got a defensive coordinator I think is going to be here for a little while. And I just think the future is bright, and I am happy. I'm proud of the guys for the season. And I'll tell you what, man, it was a joy working with you guys this year. It was a lot better than the last decade that we've had together doing this. But it's just unfortunate to come down that way. And they got to hang their heads high after a season like that. I know it's a disappointing loss, but what a damn season the Chicago Bears had.
Yeah, just an amazing season from all the way from, the Raiders game on, right? You go Raiders, Commanders, and find a way to beat the Bengals, and then moving on, and then beating the Packers twice and winning that wild card game, the way the fashion that they won the games, the comebacks that they made. And that's why, when you watch them on film and you kept talking about this team, you're like, yeah, I know what the roster looks like. I know that's McVay over there on the sideline, but this is going to be a dogfight here at Soldier Field, right? You knew that this team, with the heart that they played with, you knew that they were going to protect this house, right? You knew that they were going to protect Soldier Field, and you weren't going to come in here and just run over this football team and leave with an easy win, even if it takes a miracle again at the end, right? And maybe when you keep doing miracles, maybe they're not miracles anymore, right? Maybe this team is just talented, skilled, and the quarterback is good, and he can hurt you from anywhere on the field. And even in the end of the game, I mean, when he's scrambling for the first down, right? Number 10, he's got every angle on him, and he jukes him out, and he runs for the first down, puts his head down. So really, really just Monungai running guys over. The defense, Brisker. I thought Brisker looked like the best safety in the league tonight.
That was his best game by a mile.
It was unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Unbelievable, man. Him and the defense and the D-line stepping up, and the cornerbacks, and Kyler Gordon on his blitzes, and just competing at every turn for a team that, I didn't have in the playoffs. So who am I to talk about how bad this loss was? I didn't even have this team in the playoffs. I had them at 500 or under. And Pat, like you're saying, got your coach, you got your quarterback, you got some O-line pieces, you got some receivers, and now you just keep adding to this football team, and the future looks bright here in Chicago. You just competed with, a team with the best quarterback and people say the best coach in the playoffs.
And guys, they talked about belief all year long, right? I think that belief carries over to next year because of what you just said and who you talked about, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, that, they talked about belief in winning all these games. But when you have players like that and you've done it in the past, it's going to carry over to the offseason. It's going to carry over to training camp. It's going to carry over to the start of next season. And I just think they're a team now to be reckoned with. I think the NFL now knows the Chicago Bears are real, and they're only going to get better with what they have. So I'm excited for it. And just, again, it's disappointing they lost, but just what a damn year. What a fun year for us, man.
Pat, you're Mully, you're a free agent, right? And you see the national anthem, and you see this Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and the crowd, and the city of Chicago and the way it looks like this, the way this franchise looks like it's headed. I mean, how could you not, if the Bears won't come to you and offer you a contract, how could you not want to be a part of what they're doing? And I haven't said that in a long time about the Chicago Bears, right? I have not said that, off air, you would say, why would anybody want to come here? I mean, remember when Caleb Williams, we were going to draft Caleb. There was rumors he did not want to come here. His dad didn't want him here, and they couldn't win and develop quarterbacks. This seems like a place that people want to play football right now, at Hallis Hall, at Soldier Field, with the fans, with the crowd, with the way that things are, their culture that they look like they've built. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of it?
I think you're onto something there, because a lot of times people want to win. You get to a point in your career, like, I want to go somewhere where I can win. I want to fit in somewhere where I can win. You get the sense that this team's going to win. And what's weird about it is we always have these different discussions about, is it sustainable? Winning close games, is that sustainable? I think when you have self-belief, that's sustainable. When you have a quarterback that believes in his own skills so much, even as he's retreating, he can figure out how far he has to go in order to throw a pass for a touchdown. It's like, that's insane self-belief. He was calm as he was retreating, and you're kind of like, oh no, like, this is a different zip code. What did you say, 52 yards in the air?
Yeah.
Holy mother of God. But if you have that kind of self-belief, and if it's reinforced by the guy that's coaching you, and he has that kind of self-belief, I think that's sustainable. Belief it's almost like a mental trick that you can perform, and you're going to be standing there and giving people the code for their ATM. Yeah, I mean, how does he do that? It's extraordinary.
Well, I think he's just proved to us that that's who he is. They talked about the generational talent coming out of the draft, right? These throws and amazing things he can do. And people questioned, could he do that in the pros? And then we said, okay, he started to show that a little bit last year and obviously showed it this year. And the biggest question was, can he kind of process information? And I think with him and Ben Johnson working together, that's been proven. And we saw it today. I thought some of the reads and the blitz recognition and where to go with the ball, he was on point. And he's only, in my opinion, he's only going to get better, which is kind of scary. So if you have that generational talent, and we're seeing these amazing throws at these amazing opportunities and unbelievable times, and then he learns to be a Matthew Stafford between the ears, then you have something. And that's what I think is just special. And I think that young man has it. And I think just going on, it's like we said, as disappointing as this loss was, we'll look back at the season and say it was amazing. And we're going to say this was the start of something. This was the start of sustained success and a run of great Bears history. And I'm excited to be able to talk about it, excited to be a part of it, excited to be able to watch it and witness it.
Remember in after week 1, right, the Vikings came back, beat the Chicago Bears late, and we had that feeling again. But remember, we watched the film, and what did our, I don't want to speak for you guys. I remember I kind of remember what I said on the pregame show, is that the film said they had no chance against the Lions. Mm-hmm. Right? That was what the film said. And that just, okay, and they go out there and they get beat pretty bad against the Detroit Lions. Against the Raiders, man, it kind of looked like luck. But all I'm saying is, I'm fast forward to this week, and I'm watching the film, and I'm watching the things Caleb's doing, I'm watching Ben Johnson's doing, I'm watching the adjustments Dennis Allen is making. I'm watching the way his secondary is making plays on blitzes, and guys are getting to the quarterback in the second half with Montez Sweat and Colson Loveland and Swift and Darnell Wright and Jonah Jackson, and guys making plays. And you know what you say? No, they can beat the Rams, right? That's what you say now. They can beat the Rams, and we're talking about the Los Angeles Rams, Pat and Mully. We're talking about Sean McVay. We're talking about Stafford, right? We're talking about Puka Nacua, unstoppable. Oh, right. That's what you're saying going into this game, right? Jared Verse. I mean, how is Tooney going to hang with Verse on the edge? Well, Tooney said, "Very fine, thank you very much." Right? Why would you play McFadden? Right? Why all these things that you're talking about, and you go through all the process of matching up the rosters and talking about coaches and saying, okay, our job is to say, okay. The last thing Mully always asks us every week is, who's your pick? Who you got to win? I tell you what felt damn good this year, picking the Bears and believing it. Not just picking them because it was the Packers, right? Not just picking them because I'll never pick the Green Bay Packers. This year, picking the Bears Pat, I really thought they were going to beat the Rams.
100%.
I really
Olin,
thought that. And that's
Olin,
what the film says, Pat.
Yes. And you named 8 or 9 guys quickly, right? We haven't been able to name 8 or 9 guys that can be difference makers, whether they're up front on the O-line, to receivers, to quarterback, to DBs. And that's the difference in this game and in this team. And you got to give Ryan Poles credit as well. You know, we thought he was a little bit behind. We were going into the season. Why did they extend him? You just named 8 to 10 guys there that are playing, that are ball players. That are now we have an all-pro, a second team all-pro at tackle, 3 Pro Bowlers. I mean, you have guys that you believe in. Like you said, you break down the tape and you're like, yes, we can win because of these guys, not because just, you know, hope and luck. I mean, what was I say? Hope all the time the last few years. That's thrown out now. Now you can win because of scheme, players, and everything else.
Yeah,
Remember,
it's something.
Go ahead, Mully. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Olin.
No, I was just going to say, you know, stuff like watching the game with my 2 sons, and they're like, Dad, when's the last time one guy tackled Luther Burden? I said, never. You know, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to make the first guy miss every time, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, of course, Rome Odunze has that drop early, but he has big catches throughout the game, right? He has big catches throughout the football game. It's just a lot of young guys that you know, what is Austin Booker eventually going to be? I don't know. I don't know what he's eventually going to be, right? So just Jalen Johnson will be healthy again. And I want to give Jalen Johnson a quick shout out, man. I've been through that myself sometimes where, you know, people are talking to you in the building and saying, okay, we do need you, man. If you can come back, if you can give us anything, play. And you know, he's not 100%, but he's playing. Yes. He's going out there and he's still one of the better guys they got. I mean, imagine that defense without him, right? Yes. And people are saying, well, he doesn't look the same. He doesn't look over. Yeah, sure. He's not. He came back for his teammates to play and provide whatever he could provide.